and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're building a cold climate sewage treatment plant. Check it out. I started this project quite a while ago, and I had to kind of put it on hold over the winter time, but at this point, it's pretty much good to go. So what I've been doing since I restarted this is when I got my pour, I got a really bad pump company. My crew is great, right? I had a couple 65-year-old neighbors that kick ass and a couple kid neighbors that kick ass. And, we did a good job, but I told everybody to start at this bottom step, right? Oh, well, this fucking know-it-all pump dude goes over there and starts pumping the wall that has a bigger gap. So there was a gap here that was smaller than the gap there, and he just starts pumping. I'm over here getting hoses run and doing all this other stuff, right? Trying to, I'm like shorthanded basically. But I would rely on like this guy's experience to walk. He never walked around and looked. He just showed up, started pulling shit out of the truck. I'm gonna blah, 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 blah. Fuck you, bitch. And he just starts over there. Pumping until the whole entire frame moves. So I had a big vacant spot there, another spot there, okay? And I just had to clean up my stairs. My stairs were just really bad. So I had to jackhammer them down. I was thinking about like grinding them perfectly flat, but I decided against that as it's just, they work the same this way. And I'm trying to keep them nice for kind of display purposes. Like this is a science experiment basically, and the scope of this science experiment is to be able to turn effluent into water that is acceptable for flushing toilets, watering crops. Hello, editing Guda here. In the area I live in, the water's too deep for wells. So all the water has to be driven in or captured and harvested as rainwater. So this is the inspiration, the motivation to try to get more out of the water, to save on the fuel. Burning fuel to get water, you want to keep that as down to a minimum as possible. This is not my design. I found this on YouTube. The guy in Australia, he has one. He doesn't have to worry about the cold. So this is why I had to sink mine down into the ground. Now, this structure that is going to go over it is a 45-degree roof, and that is a solar array. Okay, so this is building on permaculture standards, so everything has to have more than one job, right? So if I was to, put this someplace and then have to put a roof over it and then have another place with a solar, it's just right here, a big, nice solar array that covers this up. Now the goal is to build this so tight that I don't have to put any input into this other than air, right? So I don't want to have to heat it, but I might have to heat it. I don't know how many, it might just be sometimes that I got to keep that above freezing and it just gets too cold outside. The idea is to kind of pipe heaters, ducting through there. So in the process of heating other areas, this will get heated. So that's the idea, is to keep the input into this as low as possible. So basically it's just an air pump that has to run 24/7. So having an air pump that runs 24/7, I need to actually buff my storage before battery storage before I can actually run this. So I have to double my battery to be able to implement this, which is all in the plan, right? So what this is all these tanks go in here. The I'm not exactly sure how many I can fit in there. I'm going to put as many as I possibly can. The first 3 tanks are anaerobic digestion. The next 3 tanks are aerobic digestion. And then the following tank is between the last tanks, right? So after the aerobic treatment, it goes through a UV light treatment. And then it goes into a holding tank, which will be at the very end. And then there'll be a pump and a pressure tank that go down in the bottom somewhere. I have to pour the pad for that yet. And that will provide the pressurized water to flush the toilets. Okay? So that's what's happening. This is going to be, I'm just going to post these videos in this playlist as this project goes together. So yesterday, I spent the entire day pressure washing all these tanks because the birds had done very, very disgusting things to these tanks, right? And it took me the better part of, it took me all pretty much of the working hours I have in a day. And there was also a lot of bird stuff going on over here that I pressure washed off. So it's all been cleaned and ready to assemble. I actually have my plumbing parts, most of them, I think. I'm not exactly sure if I have the right size hole saw yet. I haven't checked into that, but that's what's next, right? So I've ordered these tanks, which way they're going. They're going in from kind of the nastiest tanks, which none of them are real nasty, but the nastiest tanks first and the cleanest tanks last, okay? And then they get plumbed together. So that will be the next video. This video is the introduction. Like, subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Peace.